are now listening to Respond If You Please. This is the space where we sit down with real people in real life making real moves. We aren't interested in the highlight reels or the polished scripts. We're looking for the grit, the grind, the process, and the stories happening right outside your front door. Sit back, lean in, and join the conversation.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Respond If You Please. Thank you for tuning into the last episode. It was a great one with Lo. I appreciate all the comments, all the love, all the posts, all the shares. Thank you, guys. It means a lot. Today is another episode. We are here in my backyard, changing up the scene, but not the vibe. I'm excited to have this young man on the podcast today. If you talk about pressure, being under the gun, I haven't felt pressure in years, bro. Like, the only pressure I get nowadays is like, you pull up to McDonald's and there's somebody in the number one lane, and you're like, can I get my order in before they can? In the number 2 lane. Yeah. So I hop in number 2 lane, and I already have everything down. I ordered everything online, and I'm like, it's GW64, and to see if I can just get past that first person, in the number 1 lane. That's the type of pressure I've been under. I haven't had 11 guys chasing me down, or 5 6'2" guys, or some of these teams in South Texas might be 5'5", 300 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never had a full group, a full team on my back, leading the team and having to make such a quick decisions under the gun. So it's going to be fun talking to today's guest. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Corpus Christi's very own Trevor Long.
Thank you.
This is when one day I tell everybody, I say it every episode, one day we'll have a full audience and everybody's going to clap. But for now, it's just like, we just hear birds.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just hearing birds. Yeah, thanks, brother. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time on the end of your week. I know everybody likes to reset. We're going to jump right into it. You just got hired at IWA. I saw that and I was like, dang, man, I want to hear the story behind that. I'm excited for you. How do you feel? What do you think? How are you feeling about that? Because I know people are going to ask everywhere you go. So if they ask, you say, hey, go listen to the podcast and talk about it.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of pressure because IWA, they're transitioning from 6-man to 11-man, and it's a relatively new program.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they're transitioning from 6-man to 11-man. So the coach told me they got about like 30 football kids in total. So trying to build a tradition and trying to build a culture with a relatively new program is a difficult task within itself. Yeah. But I think if we can just knock out the core values and lead the guys in the right direction, I think we can be successful in what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big jump from 6-man. I didn't know they were only doing 6-man. But from 6-man to 11-man, having a full squad, have a full team, 30 kids, I mean, that's a good start for a private school, right? Yeah. And I know we were talking about it earlier, but you taking that position resonates with me because when I was in high school, I ended up getting like private lessons. He would volunteer his time. Shout out to Coach Sims, Quincy Sims, who would sit with us and show us a lot of things that we didn't know about. And not a lot of people know, but I went to a private school, right? So we didn't have like trained coaches. We didn't have anybody who knew like really what the heck they were doing. So when Q saw us, he's like, come here, let me show y'all. Like, y'all are doing everything wrong. Let me show you real quick. And he really did. I mean, he showed us and he helped us. And I averaged like 22 points my senior year. So what you're doing for the kids at IWA, I mean, it kind of resonates with me. So I think that's pretty awesome. The transition from high school to college, like how's that been for you as somebody who went away and now came back and is now starting your coaching career here, right?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people kind of struggle with that where, in high school they're always, or even as kids, they've been involved in sports their entire lives. And when it kind of ends your senior year, most people don't even get the chance to play college football or college sports in general. So whenever it ends to them, they're kind of devastated in a way. And the way I think about it is that I got to move on to the next kind of chapter of my life, and you got to pursue your next goal. You know what I mean? You always got to set new goals for yourself. And so trying to chase that pursuit and whatever it is you're trying to do, because I had teammates who, you know, they love football and stuff, but, you know, they didn't have the opportunity to play college football or, you know, any college sports, so they had to go pursue their life choice in welding or, you know, construction or whatever it was. And so the way you got to think about it is continue to set goals for yourself no matter what, whether it be in sports or not. And you could always continue to play sports. You go play in the local rec league or whatever, but always continue to set new goals for yourself and just continue to strive for greatness in whatever you do. My dad always taught me that even if you're just a street sweeper, to just be the best street sweeper possible and just be the best at your job that you can be, and it'll ultimately work out for you, no matter what it is.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, and it's hard, man. I mean, for kids that don't realize, like right after high school, I got one that graduated in 21. I got two that are graduating next year. And it's like, once high school's done, it's like, what are you doing with yourself?
Exactly.
Like, you have to set the goal. You have to know, all right, if plan A doesn't work out, what am I doing for plan B?
Exactly.
Right? And okay, how far do I want to take plan B? And where do I want to see myself in like 5-10 years, right?
Yeah, it's hard because a lot of people, well, most people don't even know the statistic, but 52% of people change their major in college. So they may think, you know, I thought I was going to be a physical therapist, and I learned real quick I was not going to be a physical therapist. It was not fun. No, I didn't enjoy it. So I fell in love with coaching.
Yeah. What about it didn't you like?
I worked in a physical therapy clinic for a couple months, and I realized
boring.
It's repetitive, and two, it's more of we could help the person in the clinic, but as soon as they got out the clinic, if they didn't do exactly what we were telling them to do, there was these people.
You have to move your body.
Yeah.
Like you have to do those exercises. Like you have to do the physical therapy that they're showing you there. They're showing you there to just say, hey, go take this at home so you can go take these movements I'm showing you and go do it at home. And if people won't do it, I'm sure they'd come back.
And that's the thing is that, like, you know, dealing with the general public it's, you know, it has its upside and downside, but when you start to work in one of those businesses where people are in pain, you start to realize like attitudes are a big thing. And not saying every person I worked with at Humble was terrible or anything. Most of the people that I met at Humble were great people, and I love them, including my coworkers. But, you know, every single day you got to deal with somebody who's in pain, and, you know, you're trying to help them out throughout something, and then they either cuss you out or start screaming at you, and you're just like, man.
It's like,
well, come on.
I'm here to help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help you, man.
Yeah.
But even if you talk to them like that, you know how corporate is. It's just not. It's not it. So.
Yeah, it's got to be tough, man. I mean, I'm sure that was very discouraging. Like, you're like, this is what I want to do, and then once you got a taste of it, you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
But that's the same thing we're talking about, right? Like,
exactly.
You went from plan A, and you're like, okay, this is plan A, and you're like, yeah, it's not working. Let's go ahead and pivot to plan B.
Exactly.
A lot of high school football, especially here in Corpus, means a lot to people, right? Who were some of the key people that, or moments you might say in the community that pushed you, like not just to be a starting quarterback, but to be like leading one of the leading quarterbacks in South Texas in general?
So there are 5 people really. My first one is the dude who really got me into football like that, and his name was Coach Dorian. I had him at Turf Sports. He taught me everything about discipline and leadership. His dad was a military dude, and we won championship after championship there because he installed discipline with us and showed us what accountability actually meant. Because he played wide receiver and stuff in high school, and so he just tried to mentor us from there. In middle school, for me, it was Coach Bradley Chavez. He's, you know, great man. I love him to death. Even to this day, we still communicate. And he built that relationship with me, and he ended up being my quarterback coach in high school. Coach McHugh, he's now the running backs coach at SMU. He was my quarterback coach my freshman and sophomore year, and he taught me everything about how to actually, you know, build relationships within coaches and other players, and how to conduct yourself, especially whenever you're a younger guy trying to take a role. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coach EJ, he was our strength and conditioning coach. He's the defensive coordinator for Miller High School, and he taught you how to transition in from being a boy into manhood.
Nice.
Like he really taught you how to be an actual man. And he taught you the principles behind why you got to do things a certain way. You know what I mean? And then lastly is Coach Evans. He helped me out starting all the way back in middle school, where he saw me at Metro Prep and started talking to me a little bit, and then in high school mentoring me from my freshman to senior year. We had clashes every now and then, like every coach and quarterback does. But he was a great man, and I just wish him well up there in Dallas.
Yeah, I'm happy for him, man. I really am. I saw him taking that position, and I said, he deserves it. Like,
yeah, 100%.
He put in his dues. Like he built the community here up to where we hadn't seen anything like that from any school. Like a run that you guys had, and that the run before you that they had, the combined run Evans had, that 8-9 years. It was very, it's impressive. We're everybody was talking about us across the state, right? So when he got the opportunity to take that position in Dallas, and he did, all I could say was, congratulations, brother.
Yeah,
like in my head, like, congratulations, brother, you deserve it. Like, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, he done his dues down here. Built the whole culture.
So you were part of something in the community that took that people take pride in, right? Miller football, right? Miller's one of the oldest schools in town, right? So you see people from class of like 58,
52.
52,
yeah, it's
58,
crazy.
Class of 62.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that you see them and they're walking through the stands and they're waving at their other classmates that they went to school with,
exactly.
bro. So just being part of that legacy, bro. Like, what message do you want to send to the next generation, like coming up?
Well, the generation that's coming up, the one thing that I see a big problem with is kind of this sense of entitlement that they've done something, and Evans kind of talked to us about this, that the guys before you laid the foundation, and then all you're doing is building on top of it, right?
Yeah.
So just because we've had success in the past doesn't mean that you're going to have success in the future. You know what I mean? And a lot of these kids see the entitlement of, well, I go to Miller High School, we're supposed to win, and this, that, and the other. Well, you haven't contributed to the winning, and two, you haven't proven anything yet. Yeah. So until you actually do something, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? So just talking to the younger generation about actually proving yourselves and putting in the time and the work and the dedication that the people before you did is really important for them to actually understand, because most of them don't. They really don't. Yeah.
So just like what you're saying is basically like, just because you got that M on your helmet, the expectation is to win, but the reality is people are, they're coming for you. Like,
exactly.
They want to beat Miller so bad, and it's fine. Just because Miller has been at top of the food chain for so long, I totally agree with what you're saying, man. It's like, put the work in, because these people before you like laid the foundation, and if you don't put the same amount of work, you're definitely not gonna have the same amount of work.
It's gonna crumble. That's exactly what's gonna. And when we go out there to play 7-on-7 or anything else, you know everybody's chirping at you and this, that, and the other, and teams play a little bit harder against you because they want to prove to themselves that they can beat the best in town. And the thing is that you don't realize you have a target on your back until you actually get beaten, and you start to realize, like, dang, everybody's actually gunning for us. Yeah. And I experienced that as a player at Miller, and then I'm trying to teach the younger generation that now, is that you guys have a big target on your back, and just because you have an M on your helmet don't mean anything. All you got to do is go out there, do your job, and perform, and then you're gonna have success. But if you're worried about anything on the outside, you'll never have success on the inside. Yeah, you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, 7-on-7 is a different monster. I didn't know, but you're coaching 7-on-7 now too?
Yeah, I coach the Miller 7-on-7. We just played this past weekend, and as a former player of Miller, as any alumni does, I take pride in how our team is going to perform, whether I'm there or not. And I just want to give back to the younger generation and teach them, these are the things that we're going to do in order to have success, and try and learn from my experiences, because I made many mistakes as a player in high school, and all I'm trying to do is teach them, look, I made that same mistake as you, okay? And a lot of coaches make this problem where they make an issue personal with a player, I try to never make it personal with a player. What I tell them is like, look, even though I'm upset with you about something that happened, I'm just upset about the performance, not actually in you. You know what I mean? And we can just build on your skills. Just because you make a mistake, think about what I'm actually saying rather than how I'm saying it to you.
Yeah, how you're saying it. Yeah, for sure.
So, I coach the 7-on-7, and I'm just trying to lead them back to success and build them back up.
Yeah, I mean, the stats don't lie, right? I mean, the passing struggled last year, which, I mean, I expected. I mean, everybody knows. If you know me personally, you know that we've been to every Miller football game for the last 9 or 10 years, right? All of our kids have been at the school, so we're always there. Last year was a rebuild. I don't even want to say struggle because it was a rebuilding year, right? Which is it happens. Like we were blessed with so many years of amazing football. The rebuilding that we're doing or that Miller's doing now, it's gonna happen. Like it's eventually. What can you if you want to drop some inside scoop? How's this the passing game looking on the 7-on-7 side?
We're continually improving. Obviously, there's things that you got to work on every now and then, but our completion percentage is up. Our touchdown to interception ratio is up. If you don't turn over the ball, most of the time you end up having success. And that's one of the things that I saw a lot at Miller this year was a lot of turnovers and just completing the ball. I mean, the ultimate objective of the game is to move the ball forward. Okay, and if you can't complete a pass, there's no point in us even being out there.
And the passing game opens up the run game.
Exactly.
100%. Like if you know basics of football, right? If they're covering deep, like down low, it's easier for them to get the 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. So I mean, they go hand in hand, right?
Exactly. So, well, and that's the thing is that Miller struggled with the running game this past season, but if you can't pass the ball, all the team's going to do is load the box. And the same thing the other way. If you can't run the ball, the team's just going to drop 7 on you, and what are you going to do about it?
Nothing.
Exactly.
You're gonna fuss and complain and then you start playing like crap, and then everybody like gets in their feelings, and it's a bad vibe. Yeah, man. I mean, last year was it was different, right? But I mean, if as long as they're making the corrections, I think to be competitive in Corpus, it's not that hard.
No.
Like, it's really not that hard to make it to the playoffs, right? I mean, there were a couple of teams last season, the season before, that made the playoffs with 2 wins or 3 wins or something like that.
Well, and that's the thing is that like people don't understand why Miller always has a tough non-district, and the reason why you want to schedule a tough non-district is due to that fact. If you beat up on some of the teams over here, okay, is that going to prepare you for the 4th round, the 5th round? No. So my senior year when we played DeSoto, we lost by 35 or 40. But then again, that's going to prepare us for later rounds. And so that's why we were able to compete and beat Alamo Heights. That's why we were able to compete with Bernie. And so people got to realize, especially with this past season, with the rebuild, as much as people want to, Evans always talks about reloading the team and stuff, but we all knew it's a young roster. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to get that. Those wins going.
Freshman quarterback, right?
Yeah, freshman quarterback, freshman running backs. It's hard.
And other schools, like freshmen don't even they'll suit up.
Yeah,
but they're not touching the ball.
And that's the thing is that when you do that and you combine that with the tough non-district, because I mean, you look at it, right? You play vets, who always goes 2 to 4 rounds every year. Then you play, who do they play? Seguin. Seguin has a D1 quarterback commit. Then you play DeSoto. I mean, DeSoto won state this year. You then play Sinton. Sinton went 5 rounds. And then you play Cuero, and Cuero went 4 to 5 rounds. So people don't realize, they went 0-5 in non-district. Yeah, okay, I completely understand that. But also look at the situation that we're in, and look at the situation that we were playing against. That's no excuse for the performance. Obviously, you want to have W's. But you also got to understand the circumstances behind it.
Yeah, all the teams that I saw the schedule at the beginning of the year, and I said, these are going to be tough games.
Oh, yeah.
Like all these teams, they've been trying to get to where Miller's at, and now that it's a rebuilding year for Miller, those teams were ready. Like they were ready to put in the work. And some of the Sinton game was close. Like it was super close. And we could have won. They could have won that game. A couple of other games were pretty close too. But it's just like, man, it is what it is. Like it's part of the game, right?
It's
like
part of it.
Yeah.
There's always a winner and there's always a loser, and that's it.
So I've been following you on your recently, right? On all your socials, and now you're doing private training, right? I saw you working with little kids.
Yeah.
What you're doing private training with the little kids. So basically now you're a small business owner, right? How does that change the game for you?
Well, it's hard to manage it with college, but the way I think about it is that I'm just trying to help develop everybody else here in South Texas. So whether it being pretty much any starting quarterback in the area that I work with, or even the little kids, I work with 6-year-olds, I work with boys, girls. It's really important because I want to see South Texas start to develop and grow. And so maybe not now where they're 6, but maybe whenever they're in high school, we can start competing in state games, not only at Miller High School, but in other schools in general. I'm just trying to build up South Texas football and help everybody grow and learn from my experiences so that we can just be better as a whole.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to get with you so you can train their kid, where do they reach you at?
Most of the time you can just message me on Facebook. Most parents are on Facebook, and if you go to my profile, which is just Trevor Long, and you just direct message me, we can get something working.
Yeah, nice. And I saw that like you're working with like a little 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And for people to say, oh, little kids don't listen, they can't take commands, dude, that little 6-year-old.
Yeah, you can.
You were telling him exactly word for word, and he was making every single move. Like,
well, and the thing is that it's all about how you talk to people. Okay, so if I tried to explain Algebra 1 to a 6-year-old, it's not going to happen, right? It's a waste of time. But if I talk to him, hey, if I have 1 + 1, it's going to equal 2, right? So it's the same thing with football. If I talk to them about all sorts of reads and coverages and this, that, and the other, they're not going to understand it. But if I tell them, hey, on this drop, all we're going to do is we're going to take 1 step back and 1 step forward, they can understand that. It's super simple. You just have to break it down.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Just break it down on a simpler level. If you can't simplify something when you're explaining it, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's all about how you approach people and how you talk to them. Every situation is different.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good, man. I mean, like I said, I saw you working with a kid, and I'm just like, damn, like the kid's getting it.
He can spin it.
Yeah, he can spin it, and then like. But on both ends, like, oh, Trevor can coach. Like, Trevor can give instruction and translate it to a younger kid who doesn't even know, like any hard, real commands. You know what I mean? Yeah.
100%.
You got a lot of kids, speaking of younger kids, you got a lot of younger kids watching you both then and now. What kind of example you want to set when it comes to balancing, we were talking about this earlier, sports and education, right?
So one of the things is that I think it's important is education as a whole. They have it to where, if you don't pass, you can't play. And for any older athlete or high school athlete who doesn't understand this, and, they may get by with grades with a 70 or whatever, but if you're trying to play at the next level, okay, coaches are looking at stats rather than, they get 100 kids a day that are going to text them, look at my film or this, that, and the other, right? So when they ask your coach about, how is this kid doing, what is his grades like and all that, if you cannot pass a high school class, they're not going to offer you a scholarship for college, because if you can't pass a high school class where they're basically giving you the grade, what do you think they think about you taking a college class? Does that make sense? And so you got to understand the importance of education, not only as, one, you can actually learn something with it, and these skills may actually apply in real life, and two, it's all about scholarships. The burden of college is huge, how much money people spend in college in general, and if you can help your parents out by just simply having good grades in high school, it also helps you get recruited. I mean, it's a win-win on both sides, and it's really not hard to just put the phone down.
No.
really
yeah, it's not, man. I
It's personal choice.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. That's the big thing too. Is like distractions, right? Like distractions from social media, distractions from, I mean, social media is the main distraction, right? You get, what is it, FOMO? You get fear of missing out. Everybody's doing something that you're not doing.
Yeah.
But you have to realize too, like, I have things I need to do, like to progress myself, right? And some of them are these grades that like they got to be like top notch, because if not, you're gonna get overlooked, man.
Well, and it always comes down to the people you surround yourself with. So if I'm surrounded by 5 people who, you know, just smoke and do drugs all day, what do you think I'm probably gonna end up like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas I always tried to put myself in AP classes and always tried to put myself in dual credit and stuff, to surround myself with people who are trying to be
Like-minded.
Yeah, like-minded and high achievers in education. Because if all the people around me are going to push me in that direction, not only is it a positive direction, but it's also going to be competitive. And I'm a very competitive person. Anybody who plays sports should be a competitive person. So if you're competitive on the field, I just treated academics like another competition. I just treated it like, okay, well, he's got a 97 in the class. I'm going to try and get 100 because now I'm going to beat him.
Yeah. Is that what pushed you to be second in class, be salutatorian? And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people are like, oh, we know that kid, he's a quarterback. But they didn't realize, I mean, I know because, I mean, we were there when you were there. I mean, some of the kids were there when you were there. And we saw that you were either first or second, or you were right there.
Yeah.
So is that what pushed you, like the competition in academics to end up salutatorian?
Yeah, I take it personal. Any sort of loss, even if it's not personal between me and the individual, I take it personally.
Yeah.
It's a competition, and I don't like to lose in anything I like to do.
Yeah.
It's just not. So education, not only do I like to be intellectual in what I do, but I treat it as a competition. So if, let's say, the person in third place had a 98 in a class, I'm gunning for 100, because not only is one going to put me in a better position scholarship-wise, but two, it's a competition between me and you.
Yeah.
And the more I can compete and the more that I can be a competitor in what I do, the more it's going to translate to everything else I do in life.
Yeah. Are you competitive with everything?
Everything. If I play video games, I don't like to lose. If I'm playing chess, I don't like to lose. If I'm coaching another, I don't care if we are playing 6-year-olds. I want to win by 100. I'm serious. I don't like it. I don't like to lose. It's not fun. Because in sports, trust me, if you've been on a bad team, it is not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun at all.
It's not.
No.
Just getting your butt whooped is not fun.
Yeah.
So what is fun is beating on people.
Winning.
And how you beat on people is that it's all about preparation.
Yeah.
When you look at any greats, they're great at preparation. They study all their opponents. They study their habits. Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, anybody who's great at what they do, look at their preparation.
Yeah.
These dudes spend tens of millions of dollars on their body to prepare them for the season. So that's all I did. I just prepared, and I knew the answers to the test before the test was even there.
Yeah. So your preparation was both on the field and in the classroom.
Oh yeah.
Like hard preparation for both.
Most people procrastinate. I mean, everybody does this, where they're like, I'll do it later. Well, no, I'm going to do it now so I have more time to do other stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing with like football. I knew what a team was running and what plays were going to work exactly and what read was going to be perfect.
Like the defense?
On every play. We played vets my sophomore year, and I threw 380-something yards and 4 touchdowns. And it's simply, or I think 2 touchdowns, but it was simply because I knew their defense inside and out, and I had a play. I literally had it written down, every single play and what was going to be open.
Wow.
Before it even happened. So when I got onto the field, what do you think I did?
Yeah.
I just completed the ball.
Yeah.
I just knew what they were going to do before it happened.
Yeah. Wow. That's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's that simple.
Yeah. And so like schools like Vets, right? Like of course Miller always wants to beat Vets, right? Just because they're the newest school in town. Would you prepare more for certain schools than others?
No, I treated it all the same. Obviously, certain games you're a little bit more hyped up for.
Yeah.
If you're playing Vets compared to at the time King was terrible.
Yeah.
So you're a little bit more hyped to play Vets than King, for example. But in terms of preparation, no, because I wanted to be perfect.
Yeah.
And that's the big problem, is that when playing down to your competition, So if we're playing somebody who's 0-10 or 0-9, for example, most of the time people are like, I don't really want to practice, I don't want to play. And the way I think about it is that, okay, well, let me find a way to make this like an opportunity to make myself better.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, we could go out there and run go routes and just score 80 in the first half and game's over with,
Yeah.
right? But let us work stuff and actually get an opportunity to improve ourselves in some sort of way so that when we play a better team,
Yeah.
we're better.
Those kinks that you knew that you were weak at. Okay, we've worked on this before, or we're
Let's
stronger.
nail it in there.
Yeah.
Our coach did this. I played El Campo my junior year.
Yeah.
I had 450 yards and I think 2 or 3 touchdowns. And our coach would give us a grade on how we did, right? So if you were 100, you did perfect in the game. If you got a 0, you couldn't do anything right. And with that stats, I had a 23.
Oh.
Right? But
Yeah.
here's the thing is that it held me accountable because I may be able to get away with those things against that team.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen when we play a better team?
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to get away with
Yeah,
that?
once you get 4 rounds into
It's not
play,
gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, man. So he would grade you guys individually on your performance per the game.
Yeah. And I would grade myself.
Yeah.
Like I would go back on the film and be like, looking back and I'd be heated looking at stuff I missed. Because you want to be perfect.
Yeah.
And you got to realize, you know, you'll never be perfect.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. But the way you got to think about it is that by chasing perfection, you're going to achieve greatness.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean that's good, man. I mean that speaks volumes about like your mindset, right? And that's what basically what this podcast is about, right? Like I want people to who want to go for it to realize that it's not just making wishes and hoping something comes true, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have a goal, if you have a wish, that's cool. But you have to like put your hands to the plow, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got to get down and dirty. Like you got to make things happen, right? For any incoming kids that are starting football, right, freshman year, or even kids that they're going to be a senior, right, and they want to just be on the field. Like what would your piece of advice be for those kids?
The piece of advice that I would say is that you got to go the extra mile, and 2, focus on yourself. Many people are focused on what other people are doing, and people always say comparison is the thief of joy, but comparison is never going to get you anywhere. When if you cannot do something right yourself, why are you worried about somebody else?
Yeah.
I just try. If you try to be the best person that you can be, everything else will work out by itself.
Yeah.
But if you're not worried about yourself and you're like, okay, well, he does this every time and you're not worried about what you need to do.
Exactly.
If you fix what you can do and you're perfect at what you do, I promise you'll see the field.
Yeah.
But if not, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to you can only control what you can control.
Control what you can
That's
control.
why I tell everybody, you can only control what you can control. Like, and if what they're doing is affecting my mood or my game or my attitude, like now they're controlling me. And that's something that nobody wants, man. I mean, you don't want to go into a game or into a job or into a season of your life to where it's like the things that you can't control are controlling your everyday life, man.
And that's one of the things that I see all the time on the field is a lot of this, like, talk, where we're talking back and forth with the other team. And, if it's competitive and it's cool and it's not throwing off your game, that's one thing, right? But many times I see this where this talk gets into people's mindset. And I'm like, why are you even worried about what he's got to say?
Yeah.
He's probably terrible at what he does. And
Yeah.
2, even if he is good, what does it matter?
Yeah.
What does it matter what he's saying? If you just do your job, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Let him talk all you want. He's just wasting his breath.
Yeah.
But people get in this ego, and it's...
Yeah, and it's hard because you're being competitive, but at the end of the day, it's like the competition. Your biggest competitor is yourself, like your limits and your ability, right?
That's it.
I mean, you would agree, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
How much, your potential is based off of how much you can control, and the amount of work that you put in is the amount. this applies to anything in life, is that the amount of work that you put into something is the amount that you're going to get out.
Yeah.
If you in the off season are not doing anything football related and you just go out there day one with pads, it is not going to end up good for you. I promise you it's not.
But that's any sport, whether it's
Any
baseball,
sport.
football, soccer, basketball. Like, championships are won.
In the off season.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that people don't realize that. When I talk about preparation, it's not only preparation for the game, but it's also preparation for the season.
Yeah.
When your whole off season, all the weight training and throwing and catching and running, all that is just as important, if not more important, than the actual in season stuff.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I mean, it's crazy to hear you talk about it because, I mean, you're so young, dude. I mean, what are you, like 19, 20?
18.
18. Jesus, God, dogs. You're still 18 years old, but you have the mindset of like this is how it has to be. And I wish more kids like have that mindset too, man. And I mean, if you can mentor kids now at your age, I mean, it's basically what you're doing now with your coaching,
That's
right?
what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, well, that's good, man. I mean, thank you. I'll say it publicly. Thank you, bro, because we need more kids your age that are headstrong, that are willing to like push the next generation forward, right? And it's like you just got out of high school, so you're like, you didn't get out of high school, leave, and then come back and now pushing. Like, no, let's push.
Go.
Let's push now. Like, why are it doesn't stop with you, right?
It should never, and it should just this cycle of success should continue, and it starts. Every program does that, where the upperclassmen should be your leaders, and they teach the values and the principles that you want to your underclassmen, and the cycle repeats, right?
Yeah.
So all I'm trying to do now is instill the same principles that worked for us then into them now.
Wow.
And unfortunately, some of those principles have been lost.
Yeah.
But we just got to find them, and it'll happen. It just takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You gotta, sometimes you gotta sit down and instead of me yelling at a kid, because if I yelled at you, you ain't gonna listen to anything I gotta say. But if I break it down to you and say, look, this is why this is important, and let me explain to you why, and you break it down in a logical sense, people are actually, okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, not just telling them no, but let's say like you have a kid, you tell him no. Of course, he says no. All he's going to tell you is no back, right?
Exactly.
It's like, hey, you can't do this because X, Y, and Z. They're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Exactly.
It's the same principle applies to
Logical argument.
Yeah.
I'll break it down with athletes and nutrition. They don't understand nutrition at all. And I told them, I said, look, here's what happens, okay? You want a carb load the night before. What I mean by that is if you're going to eat pasta or pizza, you eat it the night before because your body needs all those carbohydrates so that it burns it in the game, okay? If not, you ever drink too much water, you get waterlogged before a game? It's the same thing you're doing to your belly. So if all those blood vessels are dilating right to that stomach area, is it going towards your muscles in your brain? No. So if I'm eating all that fatty stuff right before the game, it ain't never going to work out. But if I eat something like chicken and rice and something rather, muscular that's actually going to go to my muscles and go to my brain, I'm going to perform better.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that. They want to get McDonald's 10 minutes before they play, and then they wonder why they can't run and they can't perform well or jump.
Yeah, because they're full of chicken nuggets.
They don't understand. They don't understand.
They're full of chicken nuggets and Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's true, man. I mean, even for me, for myself, I mean, food is the hardest thing. I mean, I'm in sales, right? So I'm always on the road. So it's easier to grab something than it is
100%.
to grab something from the convenience store than it is to like stop at H-E-B
And make a meal.
Or I mean, I've luckily, I mean, if there's an H-E-B in the area, I'll go to the deli, grab they got this amazing broccoli salad. I'll eat that and I'll grab some pieces of ham from the deli, like ask them to cut it, and I won't go too crazy because if not, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm on the road, man. So it's like
It's inconvenient.
it's inconvenience, exactly. Like if this is convenient for me, I'm hungry. I got to get to the next customer. I got to make that next sale. So yeah, it's hard, man. But I mean, even
That
like,
applies to everything.
even kids in like for you to say kids in high school don't realize it. Like man, that's super important. And I'm sure if they really like did the math and like got the data and saw like how their performance was better,
Yeah.
like okay, run a 40-yard dash on McDonald's.
Yeah.
All right, now run a 40-yard dash eating a clean meal.
Yeah.
Like for 2 weeks straight.
Oh, it's a difference.
Yeah, you're gonna see the difference.
And I have a prime example. When we played Alamo Heights in Bernie, okay, we had, well, let me give you Alamo Heights for the example. when we played Alamo Heights, we ate clean right before. We went to this restaurant, had chicken, rice, good meal.
Yeah.
Chicken, rice, and veggies. That was the only game the entire season where we had no cramps, no injuries, nothing. Now, the games before where, we're eating team dinner and we had pasta, or dudes were bringing in their Whataburger with canes or this, that, and the other. All our injuries, all our cramps, all our problems, we didn't hydrate.
Yeah. And when you say cramps, you're talking about like 6 guys at once.
Yeah, we got dudes who are almost dying.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, it was bad. It's like, or like, are they dehydrated? Like, are they not? Is the nutrition not right?
It's nutrition and hydration mixed.
Yeah.
And they think people try and be reactive and instead of proactive in everything they do, but you have to be proactive.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. I mean, so for the parents, like, if your kid's starting sports, get them a good meal. Like, make sure you pull up to school with, I mean, something that's decent, right? At least a sandwich. I mean, sandwich is better than...
It's something as simple as just make them a ham sandwich, or just maybe cut down on the chips a little bit, or maybe not get them the super sugary drink, or maybe not get them water. Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's the basics.
So my Lucas wrestles. I mean, you had you played baseball with Lucas last year. He's on varsity for the most part this year, but wrestling, like, we had to really watch his intake for wrestling, because I think when he started he was at like 139, maybe 142, somewhere around there, and then this year he got down to like, I think 119. So this is junior year. So for him it's like, and I had to tell him like, hey dude, you really shouldn't be having chips. I was like, and if you have chips, you should have like the pork rinds, but not too many because they're full of sodium. I was like, but water. People
don't realize it. And I took a nutrition class, and when you actually take a nutrition class and you realize like how bad most of the stuff is for you, let alone how much it takes to burn it. Like, for example, if you take 12 Dorito chips, just 12 of them, just 12, it's going to take you an hour and 15 minutes of cycling to burn that.
Oh, yeah, like on a bicycle.
An hour and 15 minutes for just 12 of them.
Dang.
So most people take the whole bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is, it goes back to the inconvenience, right? People don't want to have to make a meal, and they don't want to have to go to the grocery store. And that translates back to sports too. Yeah. People don't want to grind in the off season. People don't want to do this. People don't want to film study because, I want to play video games. But it's all about what do you have to sacrifice in order to win? Yeah. Because you have to make sacrifices. An hour. It's just an hour of your day. Instead of scrolling on TikTok for an hour, do your film study and then scroll. You know what I mean? And the way I think about it is this. It's kind of a funny example, but Tom Brady sacrificed his marriage for another Super Bowl.
He did.
Now, maybe not. Maybe you shouldn't take it that extreme.
Yeah. I mean, but he's Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Right? Like, that's what he's willing to do.
He's willing to sacrifice.
That's Tom Brady level, right? Like, okay, if you're like me as a comedian, like, okay, I want to be funny on stage. I don't want, like, if I were to say I want to be the funniest guy in the world, I'll do whatever it takes. All right, well, it's not going to happen in Corpus. Like, I'm going to have to stop what I'm doing and move to Los Angeles and New York. Oh, yeah. And really, like, hit the stages, like, 5 times a night. Yeah. But what is that going to cost? My marriage. Exactly. Like, I'm not doing Tom Brady type of life to get the outcome that Tom Brady wants. But that's what he wanted, right?
That's the thing, is that you're not going to have to sacrifice to that level. Yeah. But simple things is maybe, instead of playing video games for 30 minutes, do your film study beforehand and then do your video.
But that's everything, though.
It's simple.
Film study.
It's all about choice. Yeah. And people make bad choices.
Studying, like, for a test. Like, putting in that extra work in your homework, your missed assignments, or whatever it is. Like, what does it take? 35 minutes?
It's not hard. Minutes? And here's the thing is that this is what accountability is. And Nick Saban talks about this. He says, when we make choices, there are things that we want to do that we probably shouldn't do. And there are things that we should do that we don't feel like doing. Yeah. And what choice are you going to make? He says, we make these choices between one time and 100 times a day. Whether picking up a Doritos bag, or I'm gonna, maybe not, I don't feel like mowing the lawn, but I know I need to do it, or, I probably shouldn't be watching TV right now. I should be studying for my test. Simple things like that. But the more you do the wrong choice, it starts to add up.
Yeah.
And one little thing starts to lead to another.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, your life's full of bad choices.
Bad choices.
Then you're behind, or you're failing, or you're getting sacked because you didn't read the
exactly.
You didn't read
one small choice of, I didn't even look that the DN or the defensive line shifted their front. I called the wrong protection. Oops, and now I'm sacked. It's one simple choice that's going to lead to the downfall of everything.
Yeah.
And as a quarterback, that's what I had to be accountable for.
Yeah.
So I knew what I had to be accountable for.
Yeah.
And so I just met those expectations.
Yeah. Man, yeah, that's wild. I mean, that's super smart. But it's also like, if you don't put in the work, like there were consequences, like on and off the field. Off the field, probably, I mean, you felt it, right? Because you're competitive and you want to win, right? And you want to be top of the class. But on the field, you physically felt it.
Oh, yeah.
And then not just you, like saying getting sacked, but I mean, coaching staff looking at you like, what are we doing?
Well, and one of my proudest stats is that I only got sacked 3 times.
That's what I was going to ask.
3 times in 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How many times did you get sacked?
3 times in 2 years.
Wow.
That's it. I got sacked twice my senior year. I got sacked once my junior year.
Wow.
Got sacked in the 4th round, and then I got sacked against Ray and in the 4th round my senior year. But it's all because I set protections right, because I knew what the defense was going to do. And the only time it happened where I got sacked is that somebody blew their assignment. That was it. Somebody blew their assignment, and it was on my blind side.
Yeah. And I mean, for somebody to blow their assignment,
that's them not being accountable.
Yeah. But for it only happened
3 times.
Not even a handful, just 3 times. It's like it speaks volumes of the team in general.
And in total plays, I mean, we had probably about 2,000 plays over those 2 years, maybe 3,000. So out of those, 3,000 plays we had. So maybe 1 every 1,000 plays I got sacked.
Yeah.
But it's because you got to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
I treated my linemen correctly. So you got to build relationships with people.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know this, but to keep your linemen happy, they love candy. Your linemen love candy. So you know what I did?
That's funny.
I said, guys, if you show me a pancake block, or if I don't get sacked this week, everybody's getting their favorite candy.
Dang.
I swear, I bought them their favorite candy bar.
What were you handing out?
M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms, Kit Kats, Nerds, whatever it was.
That's awesome.
I didn't mind spending the $20 it was or whatever to not get sacked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was willing to sacrifice $20 to not get sacked.
Yeah. Family unit. Let's jump into family unit. I know you and your dad are super close, right? I mean, you were telling me earlier you're taking his class. Like, what's it like now to be on the other side, watching him do what he does? Him quarterback the room, right?
Yeah.
Basically.
He's really good at what he does. He's been doing it for
No, he doesn't know a stranger. That guy, everybody's his friend.
Everybody
knows him. I've seen him. I've high-fived him a couple of times at the games.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have banter back and forth. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't know my name, but
he asked me, like, you want to go to HEB with me? No, I do not. No, I don't. He just runs into some, he's over 10,000 students that's graduated from him.
Yeah.
So when we go to HEB, runs into 5 of them, and it's going to be an hour and a half if we got to go get one thing.
How you doing? How's everything?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure though as a son, because he talks about me in class, right? And he brags on me a little bit, right, about how I conduct myself, right, or about my accomplishments or whatever it is, and especially academics wise. So I got to hold myself to that standard as well.
Yeah.
So right now I have a 97 in this class. I don't know if I can disclose that. No, I can't disclose that. That's my grade. But I have a 97 in this class, and it's simply due to the fact that I study, I prepare, I work hard. Everything that he tells me to do, I do. You know what I mean? And that's all it is I sacrifice time with, whether my guy is playing the game or, time training or whatever it is, to study and prepare myself to have success in this classroom. Yeah. And it's fun to see your dad on the other side of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you also got to feel that pressure, like, I can't let him down. You know what I mean? Because if I get in this class and he's hyping me up and doing all this stuff, and then I bomb it, you know what I mean? It's not...
What's it going to mean?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It can't.
I mean, that's cool. That's super cool. Like I said, I mean, I didn't know you were taking any of his classes, but the fact you're taking his classes, that's got to be fun. It's got to be you guys got to be in a season of your life to where it's like, he's watched you play for all these years, right? And now he's like, all right, now he's in your class.
Yeah, now under his control.
Yeah. So the nutrition stuff, like, did he instill a lot of that into you as well?
No, I looked it up on my own.
Yeah.
My dad told me about some nutrition stuff since I was little, but it was more of, I wanted to find a way. My competitiveness took over.
That's
right?
what I was going to say.
So
it's a competitive edge.
So here's the thing that people don't realize about me is that my dedication is the only reason I even got to see the field. So my freshman year, I was about 5'10", 125 pounds, right?
Yeah.
So if I walk in the door my sophomore year and let's say I'm 6 foot, 125 pounds, probably not going to play.
No.
Because you're just not big enough, right?
No.
So I literally asked Coach EJ, I said, what do I need to eat? Give me exactly what I need to eat, how much I need to eat of it, and give me numbers, and I'm going to do it. Whatever you tell me, I got it, right?
Your EJ GPT.
Yeah, literally. No, I swear. So EJ told me you need to be this amount of calories, you need to eat this, that, and the other. So I was eating about 4,000 calories every day of just chicken and rice and steak and all the good stuff, fruits, veggies, and I got up to 155 my sophomore year. And then my junior year, I got up to 185 to 190, even 195 at one point. And then my senior year, I was comfortable at 180 to 185. That was my weight where I was like, okay, I feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I took it to the next level because I would look online. Okay, I'm looking at this and I kind of feel off. What nutrients am I maybe missing? It got down to the smallest details of even the micronutrients of certain vitamins. Like people say vitamin, okay, which vitamins do I need? Vitamin A, vitamin. It got to the point where I got so obsessed with nutrition and how to gain performance in anything I did that I was just too obsessed with it. That's the only reason I got into the field at all.
Wow. That's wild.
That's it.
I mean, but it's important. Like, people don't realize how important it is. As an athlete, a true athlete, like, if you're not doing the nutrition part of it, that's like, I would say that's just as much as like sitting down and reading the defense, learning the playbook.
Yeah. If the best ability is availability, and if you can't even get onto the field based off of, you're hurt and injured all the time, what's the point?
Yeah, because I mean, you eat trash, you're going to have inflammation.
You're going to have all sorts of issues. And if most people don't even recover.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't recover as fast.
So
right?
The way I taught it, and I was talking to my quarterback the other day at IWI, I said, look, if I punch you in the face, okay, and you get a black eye, and the next day I punch you in that same black eye, you think that black eye is ever going to recover? Mm-hmm. No. Now, if I punch you in the face and you get a black eye, and you get 3 months, is it going to heal? Yeah. I said, okay, so when you work out your body every day, you get stronger, right? And you keep beating on that muscle. Mm-hmm. If you never recover that muscle, all that muscle is going to do is get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter until eventually when you try and do something that's out of its range, it's going to
snap. Yeah.
So that's what took my game to the next level. Is my junior year, I had a pinched nerve in my low back that shot down my leg for 10 straight weeks. That's what I was playing on. So every time I took a step, I was just, I couldn't move. Even though I was running out there, it was just...
And that was junior year?
Yeah, it was terrible. And it was simply due to the fact I couldn't touch my toes. I couldn't, you would think someone who looks like me could, have some flexibility. I couldn't touch my toes. I couldn't even come close to touching my toes.
Wow.
But when I fixed that problem of mobility and flexibility, all my pain went away. I could run faster. I could move better. I was more fluid.
What'd you do to fix it?
A bunch of yoga and stretching.
Stretching, right?
Stretching, yoga, looking up mobility drills. I got so obsessed with everything.
Yeah, I had the same issue, but from sitting down in the car.
That's it.
From driving too long. Mm-hmm. Because I'm literally, this leg's like this and this leg's this way.
Yeah.
So this leg was getting motion. This leg wasn't doing anything. So I had, it was literally like 10 months.
And so if you teach, it's all about, your body is going to react to how you treat it, okay?
Yeah.
So for example, if I do a squat and I only go 90, right?
Yeah.
If I try and take it all the way down, it's never going to work.
No, it's never going to work. Yeah, it's not going to happen at all.
Never. So when I tell these athletes, I say, look, y'all get in these, these low positions trying to sprint and y'all are trying to break down with your hips, right? Y'all are trying to, as receivers, the lower you can get to the ground out of a break, the more you can get out of the break, right? And I say, if you never train yourself to do that, you think you're ever going to be able to do it? No. So if you can't even get down into the ground, you can't even touch your toes. How do I expect you to get down in a break? You can't.
How to beat somebody off the break.
And if you look at all those dudes who can get out, Tyreek Hill and all those dudes who can get in and out of their breaks and everything, just look at their flexibility and their mobility. Most of those dudes can do the splits and stuff.
Wow.
But it's because they extend those muscles to the point where...
Yeah, so I was like that for like 10 months. And a shout out to the Stretch Zone. I'm going to put a promo code in
the Stretch Zone, yeah.
Dude, have you been there?
No, but I've seen them.
Bro, you have to, like, bro, I went and I forgot what her name was, but she's a girl that works there, curly hair. And, man, at first she was like, being gentle, and then I was like, hey, we need to step it up. And then once you stepped it up, bro, oh man, it feels like because they strap you down to the chairs. I mean, they strap you down to like the bed, and then they yank whatever you need. They yank your chest, and then they'll even go further. So you're laying down and your shoulders off, so they'll get all your pec. Like man, they do all kinds of stuff. I was going every week I think I went like 6 weeks. But by week number 3, it was bad, bro. Like mine was bad. Like I couldn't even move. But by week 3, it went from 100, like pain of a 10, to like a 4.
Yeah.
And then by the time I got to week 6, I was going because it just felt so good, and it felt like
you could feel the difference,
bro. It literally felt like somebody like turned on a faucet into all my muscles, and the water would just flow because
I'm telling you,
they would stretch you so hard, bro.
You feel so good in your body once you start taking that seriously.
Yeah.
Like I literally like, I would get done with every workout, and I'd feel like I got hit with a car.
Yeah.
Like I swear, like it's just like, oh man. But once I started doing all the recovery treatment, I felt great.
Yeah.
I would go into games and get hit by somebody, and I was good.
Yeah.
Whereas before I got hit, and it's just. Oh.
Yeah. Liam, the one you met earlier, Liam was having issues with his hamstring last season for soccer, to where he said he felt something pop at one of the games, and he couldn't move for a couple of weeks. And then I think about a month after, I said, all right, it's time to start. We need to start stretching. So then I was showing him stretches, and I felt bad because he was crying. Just because it was uncomfortable. It was something he wasn't used to. And I was giving him, I mean, I'm not a good coach, bro. So you probably coach way better than me. But I was giving him like the commands on how to stretch. And he couldn't, it was just uncomfortable for him. But once after the first stretch, of course he cried out of frustration. His body felt better. Then like 2 days later he was stretched again. Another 2 days later he was stretched again. And by this season, he's stretching on his own before the game. He just turned 12. But he's stretching on his own before the game. And now he's not having any issues with his leg. And he's able to keep up, and he's able to move. And I'm like, and I was like, today before the game, I said, today at 2:30 you need to stretch. He had a 4 o'clock game. And he goes, okay. And I took a nap, and I came back in the room. Did you stretch? He goes, yeah, I'm good to go. Yeah. So, but his recovery now is.
And now he doesn't have any issues.
No issues.
But but that's the thing, is that people put so much emphasis on weight training, and we got to be as big and strong and physical as a team. Okay, well that's great, but when you're 3 weeks into the season and your entire roster's hurt,
falling apart,
what does it matter?
Yeah.
Because I promise you that 600-pound squat or the 500-pound bench press means nothing when you can't play.
Yeah. My brother, shout out to my brother Henry. He just started stretching hard with his son. He's probably 10 or about to be 11. He plays little league football. He's a big kid, and he was sending us pictures the other day to where they're stretching. It looks like they're doing some sort of like yoga or something, but it's like he's getting them into that mindset to where it's like, hey, this is also part of the routine that you need to have if you want to be successful and have this. Keep your body intact and stretching. Like, I mean. Stretching is very important. I can't stress it enough.
And someone, my girlfriend taught me this because she was a dancer at Ray.
Okay.
So she's hyper flexible. Like her elbow can go back.
Yeah.
Her legs can do the
splits and all that.
Yeah, wild. And when she was talking to me about stretching, I didn't realize, like, I understand how important it was, and I was doing all this stuff and all that, but she gave me even some more advice about stretching that I didn't realize worked until I started doing it.
Yeah.
Like, people will tell you like 3 sets of 30 or whatever. She was telling me, she was like, the only way that you're gonna get that muscle to fully get out of it is until that burn goes away. So if you gotta sit there for a minute and a half, and then that burn finally goes away, that's when you know that muscle's finally got out of it.
Pulled all the way out.
Yeah. Because she's like, if you get a rubber band, for example, right? Because if you stretch out a rubber band enough, it'll, right? Mm-hmm. But if you do this with a rubber band, it's never going to expand. Mm-mm. But if you hold it for about a minute, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, you're going to let it go. It may contract a little bit, but it's gonna grow. Yeah.
That's the way she explained it to me, and I said, that makes perfect sense. So when I started doing it, my whole stretching routine I got so much better than anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was having an issue. I was doing CrossFit for a few years, and I was having an issue, like getting low, right?
Yeah.
And one of the coaches was like, you need to stretch your ankles. And I'm like, okay. In my head, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How do you stretch your ankles? And he goes, no, let me show you. And he showed me, and he goes, I'm going to show you. We're going to do this ankle. We're not going to do that ankle. And then
you're going to feel a difference.
You're going to feel a difference.
Yeah.
So, okay, we did one ankle, and he goes, now squat. And I squatted, and I was like, oh, my God, dude.
Yep.
Like, are you serious? He goes, yeah. And he goes, do the other ankle. And he's like, do it every day. Every day you're doing this movement, stretch your ankle because you have bad ankles. So I was like, number one, I was offended. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but he was right, bro. Yeah. But I never, there's so many things you can stretch.
Realize.
And you don't realize it until, someone shows you and teaches you. So, I mean, if you're watching this and you want to get a leg on the competition, then stretch, bro.
It's stuff like that because if you look at the way I always thought about it is I'm going to look at the greats and trying to emulate what they do. Okay?
Yeah.
So the greats spend so much time on recovery. I mean, they spend so much time on prepreration. They spend
LeBron spends how much a year?
That's what I'm saying.
$1.2 million, $1.5 million?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if you want to be great at what you do, you always look at the greats and what they do, and put your little spin on it.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's getting later. We're already past an hour. I know we hadn't talked about this, but 5-year plan. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? If you want to put that out there, if you want to keep it to yourself, that's cool, bro. I mean, it's no big deal, but just so these kids can know, oh, hey, Trevor's 18. He's got a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Or Trevor's thinking 10 years. Because when I got into the corporate world, right, I would go into these sales, these companies that are trying to grow. And I started at a small company. And then once I got into a company that was global, and they're talking 10, 15 years from now. And 10, 15 years from now, this is what we're doing. This is what's going to be the wave of the future, right? And then in my head, I'm like, oh man, 10, 15 years. Why don't we set goals like that for ourselves personally?
Yeah.
Right? So if you can, you want to put some insight, where do you see yourself in 5 years, maybe 10 years?
Yeah. I mean, in 5 years, hopefully I'm definitely an offensive coordinator by then. I mean, I should be. If not, I would like to be a head coach at that point. In 5 years, at 23, if I could be a head coach, AD somewhere, that would be great. If not, I would like to be an offensive coordinator and just, helping grow and develop the area.
Nice.
100%.
Here in Corpus?
Hopefully in Corpus, yeah. But
I mean, wherever opportunity arises, right? We can't turn down opportunity, right? Especially at a young age. But yeah, that's good to hear, man. Thank you for your time, brother. I don't want to keep you anymore. We're already gone over an hour. Follow me on social media. Follow the clips. Follow the page. Follow Trevor. He's doing a lot of good things. Like I said earlier, thank you. I appreciate you putting that out into the community and just building, keeping the legacy going in town in general, because you're not turning away students from certain schools. You're if anybody wants to get to work,
If anybody in the Corpus area wants to get to work, just let me know.
Yeah.
And we'll figure something out. We'll get it done.
What about receivers? You gonna start working with receivers?
My guy, Coach Drake, he's the wide receivers coach at King. He's the guy for wide receivers. There's also another dude named Aiden Navarre. He played wide receiver at Ray. So they both train wide receivers. They're great at what they do. I can do wide receiver work, but I mainly focus on quarterbacks and let those guys handle it.
No, that's perfect, bro. I mean, because I know some kids looking for wide receiver work. So
I'm actually gonna do a camp with Coach Drake soon.
Okay, when is that?
We don't have the date determined yet. We're trying to figure out logistics.
Do you have anything that you want to put out that's coming up?
We will have a camp, me and Coach Drake, probably maybe late April. We'll see, maybe summer, that we're going to do a quarterback and wide receiver camp together. I will have most likely some quarterback camps in the summer, but for the most part, I'm just going to be focusing on Miller 7-on-7, IWA, and my clients as of now.
Yeah. So stay tuned if you want to get that work with Trevor, or if I'm sure you share everything else, right? Any other things that are going on. Mm-hmm. If you want to get involved, get your kid involved. Follow Trevor. He's a good source of what's going on in the football scene for South Texas and the Coastal Bend. Do that. Follow us. Follow the page. Like and subscribe. Do all the things like we were supposed to say when you're running for office or whatever we're doing on social media. But thank you guys. I appreciate it, Trevor. Class act, brother. I appreciate you. Go Bucks, go, right?
Do you mind if I say
go for it.
One last thing? So one of the things is that I see a lot is this mindset that, well, I don't come from this, and I don't think these dreams or goals are realistic. Never sell yourself short on anything in life. There are dudes that I've seen literally come from either abusive households or drug addict households or government housing who go on to play college football or go up to be a CEO of a business. So never sell yourself short in what you can do. I promise you, if you want to achieve something, if you work hard enough at it, it can be done. You just got to realize what are the steps to make that goal happen, and then pursue those steps.
Nice. Well said, brother. Thank you.
Right.
I appreciate you.
Go Bucks, go, baby.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you felt the vibe of this episode, do us a huge favor. Like, subscribe, and follow the show on whatever platform you're using right now. And if you know someone who needs to hear this story, share it with them. Word of mouth is how we grow.
This has been a Corpus Christi Originals production.